Well, folks, this is the video of all videos. I have a bunch of stuff to go over. It's going to be an exciting video. There's going to be a ton more videos to come. You'll find out at the end of the video why it's an exciting video and what's going to take place. But I have a big collection update to go over. I got a whole bunch of stuff from stores, from online, from eBay, from a whole bunch of places to fulfill the collection. And we're going to break it down a little bit easier this time. I think what we're going to do is we're just going to go system by system. So the first game that I'd like to talk about is the Virtua Fighter for the Sega Saturn. As you can see here, it is right here. The Virtua Fighter, Sega Saturn, pretty simple stuff. One of the best arcades games to ever come out, fighting-wise, I think. Revolutionized like tech games like Tekken and 3D fighting like that. Because I remember in 1995 when Virtua Fighter came out in the arcades, or 94 or whatever it was, and I remember going to my local Dream Machine and just hearing. I mean, it was loud. It was a gigantic arcade machine. It was louder than hell. And you were like, what the hell is that? And then when you walked in, you're like, wow, I got to play this. And you could hear it from all the way down to the other end of the mall. You could hear it. The Walpole Mall, for those of you who grew up in that area and know what I'm talking about. But this here, one of the greatest fighting games, still is to this day, in my opinion. Very basic, very easy to figure out how to play, but and it spawned five sequels. So, or four sequels. I don't know. Four theoretically in the numerical timeline, and then you have Virtua Fighter Remix and Virtua Fighter Kids and all that sort of deal. But anyway, this is Virtua Fighter for the Sega Saturn. Okay, the next game I got to complete the Saturn collection I needed is NHL 98 for the Sega Saturn, complete in box as usual. And here you go, the in-game graphics on the back. So, you have Smarter. You got Stanley Cup proven intelligence from Colorado Avalanche coach Mark Crawford. On-the-fly coaching strategies, realistic power plays, breakouts, forechecks, and backchecks. All new one-timers, glass-breaking checks, and perfect player positioning. User-controlled shot deflections, authentic NHL play-by-play and color commentary. Tournament mode, 44 teams to choose from. And then NHL Hockey, signature moves from the NHL's best players, season, exhibition, tournament, and shootout mode, updated NHL rosters and player ratings, all NHL teams and NHLPA players. And then the in-game graphics you see here, you got light the lamp, stack the pads, one-timer, signature moves, deke the keeper, and keep your head up. So NHL 98, Sega Saturn, Joe Sakic on the cover, I think that's who that is. And there you go. Next game is the aforementioned Virtua Fighter Kids for the Sega Saturn. Really, this wasn't really needed to be made. It didn't really need to be made. I don't know why they made it, but whatever. It's basically the same game. It's the exact same game. A couple of different options you'll see, when I read this off to you. But basically, the game itself is it's a Virtua Fighter with kid-shaped heads. That's pretty much it. So get ready to rumble. Okay, get ready to rumble. Experience the killer gameplay of Virtua Fighter 2 packed into a pint-sized punch. 20% faster than Virtua Fighter 2. I don't know how you could notice a difference. You got amazing special moves, hidden secrets await the true Virtua Fighter master, and then you got new real-time instant replays, new customized characters with the new make-your-own combos mode, and new original movie sequences. So they packed a little bit of extra stuff in here, but basically it's Virtua Fighter 2 with kid-shaped heads. And, let's see if I can memorize. I forget. I think this is Wolf. This is Jeffrey. That's Cage, Jackie, Pi, Lao. I'm thinking of Ken Fu from Mortal Kombat, but that's Shun Den. I think I got this guy wrong. Shun Den, it's the old guy. That's Akira. I think this is Lion, and that's, I want to say Nina, but Nina's from Tekken. I forget who that is. Sarah. That's Sarah. I think it's Sarah. But anyway, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments section below if that's wrong. But anyway, you got Virtua Fighter Kids for the Saturn. Next game we got is NBA Live 98 for the Sega Saturn. Tim Hardaway when he played on the Heat. So, Soul of Hoops returns with power. You got NBA Live 98. Experience the NBA lifestyle, hip graphics, and progressive music combined with the most realistic competitive gameplay available. Live 98. I'll zoom in for you guys. Live 98 feeds you the raw power of today's NBA power control, power moves, and power gameplay. Okay, and then you got Take Control. Okay. New direct dunking, one-hand straight-up reverse finger rolls and more on command. New direct passing past any player anytime. Tight player moves, spin, crossover between the legs and more on command. And new three-point shootout. Then you got the NBA Live gameplay. Players play exactly like their real NBA counterparts. Real NBA stats, real NBA players, real NBA moves. And then the in-game graphics. You got all new dunks. This is right here. Ball fake, leaner, fadeaway, behind the back, unbelievable 3D courts, awesome custom draft, and three-point shootout competition. So this is the NBA Live 98 for the Sega Saturn. And the last Saturn game is NBA Jam TE. Okay, we pumped up the Jam from Acclaim. Realistic arcade player scaling, updated player rosters, baby, giant, and big head modes. I loved NBA Jam when it came out. NBA Jam T was kind of cool, but then, you know, the more I think about it, you know, it was cool that I guess you had the hot spots and everything else, but then it was just so ridiculous that I think I like the original NBA Jam better. In-game graphics here, it says, your state-of-the-art system demands a state-of-the-art NBA Jam TE, and this is it. Arcade quality, player scaling, updated player rosters, actual player heads. Want more? We've got all new secret characters. Monster jamming stereo music and authentic arcade sound FX, including voice calls for individual players. NBA Jam TE, pump it up. And the features, you got player scaling just like the arcade, incredible stereo sound, baby, giant, and big head modes, secret players and codes, bigger players, over 120 NBA stars, 9-point shots from the hotspots. Okay, Super Jam power-ups, updated player rosters. Okay, updated player roster, rookie and all-star teams, 3 to 5 players per team, same team matchups, substitutions after every quarter, tournament mode, 5-speed juice mode, injuries and fatigue factor, 8 player attributes, and autosave with memory cartridge. Those are all the features. And then here you go. You got the halftime report, exclusive NBA full motion video, tonight's matchup, every arcade feature, and more. And then you got incredible cross-court monster jams, all new modes of play, arcade graphics, and bigger players, Super Jam power-ups. And then it says over 120 NBA stars, rookie, and all-star teams. And some of the teams they show for the Spurs, you got Robinson and Sean Elliott. New Jersey Nets, back when they were the Nets, New Jersey Nets. And you got Coleman and Anderson. Pistons got Dumars and Mills. Phoenix Suns got Manning and Johnson. Knicks got Ewing and Oakley. Pacers got Miller and Smits. Hornets, Charlotte Hornets, the original Charlotte Hornets, got Mourning and Johnson. Orlando Magic got Hardaway and Grant. Super Seattle Supersonics, back when they were in Seattle, you got Kemp and Payton. Chicago Bulls, you got Pippen and Harper. Utah Jazz, Malone and Stockton. And the Houston Rockets, Olajuwon and Drexler. So, NBA Jam TE for the Saturn. Okay. Now we focus our attention to PlayStation 1, and I finally got a long box version of NFL Game Day, the first NFL game Sony ever made for the PlayStation. And you can see the graphics on the back here, old school stuff. Dave Windling from Dimension Publishing up at the top here says, forget what you played before, NFL Game Day for the Sony PlayStation is the most realistic game of football I've ever played. And then it says you got all 30 NFL teams and over 1,500 real NFL players. You're quarterbacking the Dallas Cowboys in the Super Bowl. You're down by 4 and on your own 35 with 57 seconds on the clock. You hit Michael Irvin down the left sideline and he scampers for 32. The clock's running. You take the snap and hit Jay Novacek in the flat and he rambles for 20. First and 10 on the 13 with 22 ticks left to play. Can you make Super Bowl history? The franchise features game day play modes, preseason, regular season playoffs in the Super Bowl, team management, trade players and sign free agents to create your own NFL dynasty, realistic NFL action, players rendered in true 3D, hurdles, stiff arms, swim moves, diving catches, jukes, spins, forearm shivers, speed bursts, diving tackles, injuries, and more. Real player attributes, players' abilities based on their real stats and are scaled to actual height and weight. All 30 NFL fields, different stadiums with NFL team logos and painted end zones on the real turf with CD quality sound, and 4 dynamic playing perspectives. Complete stat tracking. Track stats for over 1,500 real NFL players. And some of the graphics on the back. San Francisco's West Coast offense in high gear. This one, Junior Seau sets his sights on the Raiders' Harvey Williams. Marshall Faulk explodes outside the Patriots, against the Patriots, and Barry Sanders bursts up the middle for a huge gain. So this is NFL Game Day PS1. Next is a black label version of Tetris Plus. I've been looking all over for this. It's impossible to find anywhere except eBay. I mean, there was like a million of them. But in video game stores, forget it. I remember playing this when I first got my PS1. It was interesting. You had a puzzle mode, and from what I can remember, this guy was an explorer, an archaeologist, and you went through each puzzle level, and if he went up to the top, you killed him, and the game was over. But if you beat the puzzle, then obviously he went on. So it says it includes the classic Tetris version and much more. So on the back, Tetris Plus, 4 exciting modes of play. You got classic, head-to-head, puzzle, and edit. Never-ending challenges. Master 80 mind-blowing puzzles. Discover 20 bonus stages. Design your own puzzle and edit mode. So that's pretty simple stuff. But Tetris Plus, I liked it. It was a good puzzle game. Next is the PS1 version of High Heat Major League Baseball 2002 with Vladimir Guerrero on the Expos on the cover. And on the back, Real Baseball. Turning up the heat another notch with, you got high-impact TV-like game presentation and rockin' new audio, completely overhauled in-game graphics, superior AI allows you to think and play like a real pro, incredibly realistic pitcher and batter animations, new 2-man booth with play-by-play and color commentary. And then in-game graphics up here, tons of up-close action, realistic players in stadiums, and nothing there. But I like the High Heat series. I remember when they came out for the PC, Sammy Sosa in 04 and 05. I thought, in my opinion, High Heat Baseball 2004 was the best baseball game ever as far as stat tracking, multiple season mode, like the career modes, in-game graphics. The playability was spot on. It was flawless. The playability was unbelievable. And the games lasted maybe a half hour. I mean, it was so fun to play. It really was, and I'm sad that 3DO doesn't make the baseball series anymore. Now that 2K, obviously with the whole EA thing, with EA with football and 2K with baseball, but High Heat was great. I loved it, and it reminded me of the High Heat 04 bested Front Page Sports. For those of you who remember Sierra Sports, Front Page Sports, 97, 98. You had football and you had baseball, and you also had golf, you had golf and fishing. But the football and baseball was really the first game ever to have multiple seasons. The stat tracking was incredible. You could edit players, a whole bunch of stuff. And then when High Heat Baseball 2004 came along, by far, it's still to this day one of the best games. It's right up there with the show. I think it's even better. It really, literally had no glitches that I can remember. It was an awesome game. I think I very rarely give games 10s. I think I would give that game a 10. So if you have a PC, an older PC, and you want to get some baseball nostalgia, pick up High Heat Baseball 2004 for the PC. The next game for the PS1 is NBA Fast Break 98. Midway's foray into simulation basketball instead of the NBA Jam type stuff. But here, you got the fastest way into the NBA, and it includes a bonus playbook. So we'll see if it comes in this version. But choose to play a full NBA season, NBA playoffs and All-Star game, including NBA playoffs and All-Star game, an exhibition game, or practice mode. Supports up to 8 players at one time. Watch the action from 11 different camera angles. From the wood to the rafters, you're in there. Can't believe what you just saw? Take a second look using the instant replay feature with adjustable camera angles. From agility to shot accuracy, you can create a custom player and then place them on the free agent list. With 27 offensive sets to choose from, each team hits the court with 16 ready-to-go plays. Using state-of-the-art polygon-based motion capture technology, NBA Fast Break 98 puts the ball in the palm of your hand. Real NBA players, authentic NBA uniforms, all 29 NBA teams. It's all in this official licensed product, and then in-game graphics. From what I remember, this game was terrible. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's terrible. I don't know. This just came out. This might be the playbook. Yeah, here it is. NBA Fast Break 98 playbook. And it actually shows you each team and their different sets. You know, what you would call an offensive sets and what you would call in defensive sets, I assume. Nope, just offensive sets. Whatever. So that's NBA Fast Break 98. A playbook cannot save you. Next up is a sealed copy of Bottom of the Ninth 97 from the Konami XXL Sports Series. Konami, whatever. But graphically, one of the worst video games ever. Ever, as far as the player models. It's just gross looking. It's gross. I never liked Konami's baseball graphics. They're fat. It reminds me of Mike Piazza for the N64, one of the worst baseball games of all time, video game wise. But anyway, are you ready for the big leagues? The most realistic game of baseball gets juiced for 97. New 3D graphics put you right on the diamond. New multiple camera angles, not a bad seat in the house. New scenario mode, put a spin on history with these classic baseball moments. New play day or night games. Over 750 real Major League Baseball players, all the stats, all the ratings, and all the photos. Improved batting system lets you call the shots. Swing batter. Training mode, sharpen your skills before you hit the field. Play out a season, jump to the playoffs, or head right to the championship. Full play-by-play and umpire announcing. The Konami Sports Series delivers the hits. And I could be wrong, but I think that this game did not have the licensing for the teams. I could be wrong, but I don't, yeah, there's nobody on the cover. There's no team name on the cover. So, if I remember, you just had the players, it was an MLB Players' Choice, whatever, but the MLB Players Association was in this, but the teams, the MLB was not. And so that's what hindered it, aside from the ugly graphics that you can see. I mean, this is just, I don't know if you guys... I mean, that's that. Let me zoom in. I mean, yeah, PS1, I'm not trying to compare this to what we've got now, but it was just a bad game graphically. But again, I needed this for my collection. I found it sealed for like nothing, and so I said, screw it, sealed. Thanks for coming. Next game is Konami's NHL Blades of Steel 2000. Looks like Mario Lemieux's on the cover there. The Penguins. On the back, haunting goalie since 1990. And for those of you who remember Blades of Steel, it was an awesome game. It was like the original NBA Jam, if you will, of sports games, or NFL Blitz of sports games for the NES and Game Boy. But a haunting goalie since 1990. In the NHL, where players are a blur and goalies put up brick walls, it's hard to dominate. Jaromir Jagr's been doing it for almost a decade with blinding speed and a non-stop highlight reel of moves. I'm an idiot. The guy on the front of the cover is Jaromir Jagr, not Mario Lemieux. NHL Blades of Steel 2000 is Jagr in a box. Open it up, give goalies nightmares. You got all new AI modeled after textbook NHL hockey. You got all new eye-popping graphics over here. And then you got here, gives you countless team and player stats, give you the complete book on the NHL. And over here, innovative camera angles put you right in the action. So, again, here you go. NHL Blades of Steel 2000. PS1. Next up is a Black Label version of Soul Blade. I have the Soul Calibur, every game in the Soul Calibur series for the most part, and so I needed a Black Label version of this. I had a Greatest Hits version, so I'm going to get rid of the Greatest Hits version to make my original collection. But Soul Blade, for those of you who don't know, one of the best fighting games, you know, fighting series of all time, more so than Virtua Fighter, obviously. If you thought Tekken 2 was tough, take a stab at this. What's next in fighting? How about a game that melds 3D movement, polygon characters, razor-sharp graphics, awe-inspiring moves, and a one-of-a-kind combat system? Or in short, Soul Blade, arguably the most innovative fighting game on the planet. It's the 15th century and 10 warriors from around the world, each wielding their weapon of choice, are in bloody pursuit of Soul Edge, the ultimate weapon. Sure, only one will find it, but it looks like the critics already have found it. Game Players Magazine voted Soul Blade Best Game of Show at AMMO, and Next Generation calls Soul Blade the most complete fighting game to date. Obviously a cut above. And then the options here, you got first polygon fighter to feature an authentic weapon-to-weapon combat system, incredibly realistic feedback when weapons collide, 10 amazing characters, the most detailed characters yet to be seen on a PlayStation polygon fighter, characters with their own distinct 3D ending crafted from ancient lore, an arsenal of combo attacks, secret techniques, and special throws for each warrior. Real 3D backgrounds for each character, providing the player with an unsurpassed sense of realism. All backgrounds feature light sourcing. From electrified swords to glowing motion blurs, stunning special effects highlight each character's fighting technique. Original orchestral music score set and multiple weapons. So, Soul Blade PS1. Black Label Edition. And then the last game for the PS1 I needed was Hardball 5. Well, in this, I need more, but in this video here, you got Hardball 5 Big Box for the PS1. And on the back, I love the Hardball series when it started on the Genesis into, you know, PS1, but I didn't mind the sprite graphics. I really didn't. It gave it like an old-time classic feel. But on the top it says in a league by itself. You got perfect combination of actions and stats, 10 skill levels, over 800 MLBPA players and lineups. Full season play with extensive statistical tracking, comprehensive team and player editors, bonus Legends League, 12 all-time great teams from history, trading free agents, minors, active, and disabled lists. That's pretty cool for an early baseball title. 40 stadiums, home run derby, Al Michaels calls a play-by-play. This also did not have the MLB license. It had the player's license, but as you can see, you just have Seattle, Cleveland. You don't have Mariners, Indians. You wouldn't have this in this game, unfortunately. But Hardball, pretty good game. Now, the next set of series is going to be the Genesis, but excuse me one moment, I'm going to turn on the lights to try to get some light in here. See if that helps any. Well, that didn't. Let's do this. There we go, that should be better. Okay, first up for the Sega Genesis, NBA Live 98 for the Genesis, obviously complete. On the back, the soul of hoops brings the power. With tight moves and competition, tested gameplay, NBA Live 98 delivers the raw power of today's NBA. Power slams, power moves, power competition. Want some? The features: reverse layups, baseball passes, scoop shots, alley-oops, intentional fouls, and double teaming. 2-on-2 and 3-on-3 half-court games. 3-point shootout contests. You got new team and player practice modes and new realistic trading mode incorporating player ratings. You got exhibition season and playoff modes, all 29 NBA teams, both all-star teams and 4 custom teams. Real NBA players updated with complete 1996-1997 stats. Create, edit, and trade your own players, and new computer-generated midseason all-star game. And then the in-game graphics, power slams, power moves, power gameplay. NBA Live 98 for the Genesis. Next Genesis game is NFL 98. Took me a while to find this. This is hard to come complete in box. It has a little bit of a tear up there. I'm not happy about that. The box isn't in the greatest of conditions, but it's not the worst condition it could be. This is taped at the bottom. I don't like that. I hated these cardboard boxes. I hated them. I like the more, you know, regular hard case boxes than these cardboard ones, but Field of Power, NFL 98. I remember, I've never played this. I had it as a kid, never played it. I think I was going to play it, and then I was playing PlayStation. I never got around to it. But I remember the NFL 95 for the Sega Genesis, and I loved it. I played that to death. So 98, I don't know how good it is, but the new features it has fully customizable game options, choose from 15 categories, new rosters, schedules, logos from the current 1997 NFL season, updated statistics from the 1996 NFL season, stat tracking in over 40 categories, and modes of play. You got 5 gameplay modes, cart roster management, and game tips. Audible at the line of scrimmage and score. Hurdle over defenders in this graphic. You got cool camera angles in that graphic. You can search look all the way downfield, and hard-hitting action. The original features all 30 NFL teams, trade and create players, team playbooks, record book feature stores, team and individual bests, and MVP awards, including game and season modes. So NFL 98 Genesis. Okay. Next game is Arch Rivals for the arcade game, a real basket brawl for the Genesis. Now I remember playing this in the arcade. I went to a community center that actually had the arcade version of Arch Rivals. I loved it. This is the original NBA Jam, but from Flying Edge. So Arch Rivals, the arcade game. The real arcade action between the Arch Rivals is really hot because tonight there's no fouls. What? No fouls? That's right, no fouls. This is basketball where breaking the rules is part of the rules. If you can't block a shot, knock your opponent's block off. If you can't steal the ball, steal his shorts. Arch Rivals also takes real b-ball skills like passing, shooting, ball handling, slam dunks, and three-point shots. All the in-your-face action and courtside sound effects of the arcade smash. It's not just basketball, it's a basket brawl. In the in-game graphics, you got get ready for an all-out basket brawl. Don't miss this halftime show. Choose from an outrageous roster of arch rivals. And no fouls, knock your opponent's block off. Arch Rivals, the arcade game for the Genesis. Next Genesis game is the original John Madden Football. It took me a while to find this, especially complete in box. It's old as hell, older than hell. And let's take a look at the back. You got big, tough, bone crushing. It's all here. Real mud and guts football the way Madden likes it. Power offenses and smothering defenses with true-to-life player attributes. 17 pro-caliber teams, including the All-Madden team, all ready to rip up the field. Some guys aren't mutters. Some guys can't hold a block on grass. That's real football. That's in the game. John Madden signed it. Complete control over realistic players. You can block, dive, jump, and break tackles. Call over 100 pro plays with ease from Madden's on-screen playbook. Pass like a pro, unique zoom camera zeroes in on receiver streaking downfield. Only the toughest guys can grind it out in rain and mud to make it to Super Sunday. John Madden stacks up your team stats against the opposition at halftime. Box isn't in the greatest of shape, but nonetheless, John Madden Football. Next game, is another one almost impossible to find. I was able to finally find it on eBay. It's Sonic Classics. It includes 3 great Sonic games: Sonic the Hedgehog, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, and Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And all 3 of the games are on one cartridge, obviously. And that's pretty much that. So, Sonic Classics. And the last Genesis game in this bunch is World Series Baseball 98 from Sega Sports, with Chipper Jones on the cover, a young, skinny Chipper Jones. Not that he was ever fat, but he obviously bulked up towards the end of his career. What a game. New features, new rosters and schedules featuring the current 1997 MLB season, including interleague play, updated statistics from the 1996 MLB season, stat tracking in 27 categories, league leaders, team stats, and team standings, modes of play. You got exhibition, league, playoffs, home run derby, classic home run derby, and batting practice. And then the original features all 28 teams, draft and trade players, postseason awards, league leaders, in the batter's box view, midseason all-star game. So again, World Series Baseball 98 for the Genesis, Sega Sports. Now the next couple of games are going to be interesting. They're really not system games. They're handheld games. I had these as a kid or played them as a kid. And what I'm trying to do now is collect all the ones I had either as a kid or actually physically played as a kid. First, I'm going to start off with some Radio Shack handhelds. This one's called Raceway. Still works. It's in great shape. And pretty much the object of Raceway was to, as you can see the demo going, because it's like a game and watch. It has the time, and then you can set an alarm and everything. Basically, you're just going to move left and right to pass the obstacles, okay? And then over on the left, you'll see flags. So you got to run all the way to the left, grab the flag, run all the way to the right, put the flag in like this little thing that shows up on the right-hand side. And if you do 3 in a row, I think there's like a bonus. I haven't figured it out. I don't remember, but it's like a bonus mode where you hit this bright button, okay? And then each number, it's like a roulette wheel. There's a right thing on the right if you could see that. Probably not because I just put it there. See that thing coming up on the right? You'll see it as soon as the computer doesn't die. There it is right there. It just passed. But and then it's like a bonus mode where if you get 3 in a row, I think it triples your score or something. I haven't done it yet. But it's like a slot machine thing. So that's Raceway. The next game is a tabletop handheld called Space Alien. I do not have batteries for this yet. I need to put them in just to see if it works. But pretty basic left and right. And I had this as a kid. Looks like it takes 1 AA battery, so I'll try that out later and see if it works. But that's Space Alien from Radio Shack. Now the next handhelds are Tiger Electronic handhelds, and this should bring back some memories for all you guys. You got Heavy Barrel, okay, fire and weapon buttons, and again I do not have batteries for this, but you got Heavy Barrel. Next up is Electronic Football, kick score button, and then pass player button. So Electronic Football. Next up you have Ninja Gaiden. jump buttons and attack and pick buttons. The up, down, left, right buttons here. So that's Ninja Gaiden. Next up is Jordan Bird versus Bird 1-on-1. That was also for the NES and Game Boy systems. I think it also came out for Genesis, I could be wrong. But you got select, steal button, and shoot button. Okay. And the last Tiger handheld electronic game is Ivan Ironman Stewart's Off-Road, Super Off-Road. And you got high speed button and normal speed button. So those are those. And I got a lot more stuff coming, guys. It's an exciting time to watch my channel because finally, on eBay, I said to myself, you know what? For ha-has, let's type this game in, let's see what pops up. And lo and behold, I saw a complete in-box Sumo Fighter for the original Game Boy. And I saw the price, it was $2,000. And I said to myself, oh crap. Holy crap, I don't want to spend $2,000. What do I do? Or best offer, it said. $2,000 or best offer. I gave an offer of $1,200. Somebody had already outbid me. Gave an offer of $1,275. I was the highest bidder. Guy countered, and I said to myself, I'm not going to go past 15. If he counters with 15, I'm grabbing it or anything less. If not, I'm not going past it. It's just going to suck. What? And you may think, oh, $1,500 for a game, $2,000 for a game. Guys, folks out there, you know retro collecting, some of that stuff's expensive. Very rarely will it be that much. But for this one Game Boy game, it was that much. It's impossible to find. The guy who's selling it was in France. He lived in France, and he sold it to me for $1,400 US. Here it is in all its glory, Sumo Fighter. Now, is the game unbelievable? That's why it's rare? No. The game isn't horrible at all. It's actually not bad. But what makes it rare is I do not believe that this company, DTMC, created a lot of them. And here on the back, you got Appetite for Adventure. Shake up your Nintendo Game Boy with foot-stomping action. Eat your way to super strength and pound everything in your path. Pick on everyone lighter than you as you make your way through 15 enemy-filled stages. Find the secret temples and take on the bonus stage challenges of thumb wrestling, arm wrestling, or traditional sumo fighting. Remember, don't forget to eat your rice. It's a good game. Is it worth $2,000? No. Is it worth $1,400? No. Is it worth $400? No. Is it worth $40? Probably. And that's where it ends. But this is so impossible to find complete in box with instruction manual, box, and game together that it sells for this much. So, what does that mean for you who are viewing my channel? What that means is after this video is uploaded, I will be doing a ton more videos. I will be doing a game room tour. I will be doing my entire PlayStation 1 collection, my entire Game Boy, now it's completed finally, collection. My NES, my Saturn and Genesis and Nintendo 64 up until this point collections, Dreamcast collection, every video game collection I have you will see. I've got a ton more stuff on its way that we'll be doing unboxings and we'll be doing, you know, different old school magazines, different old school video game buying guides I'll be showing you guys. So stick around, stay tuned to this channel because it just got a lot better. And you can thank the guy from France, Sumo Fighter. Thanks for watching, folks. Get ready. It's going to get good.